Welcome. Today we will be covering our story recently uncovered, centering around the horrifying truth of our government, the malicious and communistic decision of the government to stage the moon landing, and the bigger story involving President Kennedy's untimely death.
On July 16, 1969, the United States made world history by defeating its opponent, the Soviet Union, in the space race and placing a man on the moon, or so they manipulated us to believe. In truth, this event was a bigger, more menacing plan to establish world dominance and crush out any and every rival to the plan, including our own beloved President, John F. Kennedy. A few years earlier, the president decided that the United States would compete to get to the moon. Being the honest and truthful American man that he was, he believed the only way to get there was by hard work and good ethics, the American way. He even delivered a heartfelt speech in Texas in September of 1962.
With answerable courage. If this capsule history of our progress teaches us anything, it is that man in his quest for knowledge and progress is determined and cannot be deterred. The exploration of space will go ahead. Whether we join in it or not, we mean to be a part of it. We mean to lead it. For the eyes of the world now look into space, to the moon, and to the planets beyond. Our leadership in science and industry, our hopes for peace and security, our obligations to ourselves as well as others, all require us to make this effort, to solve these mysteries, to solve them for the good of all men. There is no strife, no prejudice, no national conflict in outer space as yet. Its hazards are hostile to us all. Its conquest deserves the best of all mankind. We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other thing.
NASA was unable to get the technology established, and they realized they were running out of time. They decided, for the sake of national security and the hope for future generations to be safe from the Soviet Union and their communism, they became their own enemy and faked the landing, lying to the country and all its people.
NASA decided this endgame shortly after the 1962 speech, when they realized their attempt to console the people with emotional nationalism had worn off within a year. They were out of borrowed time. They proposed a staging to the president, while he strongly disagreed, as he would with his hard-working American dream and fatherly morals. NASA and the space program conspired to get him out of the way and had him assassinated.
Seeing truth may strive to make others see. I have therefore chosen this time and place to discuss a topic on which ignorance too often abounds, and the truth too rarely perceived, and that is the most important topic on earth: peace. What kind of a peace do I mean, and what kind of a peace do we seek? Not a Pax Americana, enforced on the world by American weapons of war, not the peace of the grave or the security of the slave. I am talking about genuine peace, the kind of peace that makes life on earth worth living, the kind that enables men and nations to grow and to hope and build a better life for their children. Not merely peace for Americans, but peace for all men and women. Not merely peace in our time, but peace in all time. I speak of peace because of the new face of war. Total war makes no sense in an age where great powers can maintain.
However, there's one variable that the government overlooked: the Zapruder film, which has snowballed into distrust in the government, thus revealing the connection between the sloppy studio staging and the biggest American wrongdoing in history. That our government, which we put our trust, love, money, and even our children into, is capable of this scale of corrupt and evilness.